I am Eliza Solowiej, E-L-I-Z-A-S-O-L-O-W-I-E-J. I am the Executive Director of First Defense Legal Aid. We are the premier nonprofit organization in the country organizing volunteer pro bono attorneys to be available 24/7 just to protect people's civil rights in Chicago police stations. As everyone knows, the Miranda warnings, the Miranda rights exist for everyone in all Chicago police stations. And the only way that you can access it currently is if someone happens to know you are arrested and alerts legal defense for you. We need to see everyone actually experience their right to counsel, their right to phone calls in order to interrupt this false confession epidemic. We're known now nationwide, internationally, for police torture, abuse, overreach, and there's a simple solution that is homegrown and fueled by these volunteers and more. If everybody is able to call us from the police station, we're able to respond, and this is everyone's right. We have been in discussions since last July with this mayor's office, as well as legal affairs for the Chicago Police Department. Since July, they have talked to us and said that they are considering the simple reforms of posting our number and making sure people have early access to the telephones in their police stations. This is only reasonable. It's something we're asking for them to do today. Superintendent McCarthy can simply issue a directive saying, make sure everybody can use the phone. No one should be held incommunicado. This is a constitutional right. And post the number for legal aid so that these Miranda rights can actually be real. We have been in these discussions and we are ready to respond, and we need the city's cooperation. We need McCarthy to issue this directive and to enforce the law when it comes to a reasonable number of phone calls in a reasonable time. We're calling on that to be defined as 2 hours or less. We think that is reasonable. Within 2 hours, you should be able to reach out to your loved ones and to your attorney and let them know that you are being held in a Chicago police station. Our attorneys at the other end of 1-800-LAW-REP-4 are volunteer pro bono attorneys interested in protecting your rights, and we're ready to respond. Here today we have people who have been told recently inside a Chicago police station, no, you can't use the phone until the very end. Who would have called us, who would have been able to ease the fears of their family, having known that they were disappeared and not knowing where. We also have volunteer attorneys who have been speaking out in the press about their experience being turned away from CPD stations with their clients inside. And we want these stories out. This is no secret. And the city has known about it, and at least since July, they have told us that they are considering posting our number and making sure people can call us. We want this to happen now. It's the most simple conservative reform I can imagine, and it addresses all of these negative headlines that have been out there week after week, from rampant stop and frisk to Homan Square allegations, to incommunicado interrogations going on throughout the city as the norm. We're ready. This is a positive thing. Chicago doesn't have to be known only for police torture and false confessions. It can be known as the police department and the city who actually put in play a really positive solution and allowed advocates to go in and do their role in this process. So next I want to introduce, please, Charles Jones. A powerful community leader, husband and father, also a Know Your Rights educator with some very personal experience that he will speak out today.
As Eliza was saying, every person suspected of a crime has a right to a phone call. The Miranda rights give us the right to counsel. However, this whole thing has been undermined by the Chicago Police Department, because if I want counsel, I have to be able to call counsel. Once you are arrested, you are told you can't have a phone call until you are booked and processed. At this time, the interrogation is over with, the lineup is over with, everything is over with. So the whole right to counsel has been undermined by the practice of the Chicago Police Department. Last week, I was arrested and taken to Homan and Fillmore Police Station. Immediately upon my arrival, I demanded a phone call. I was told, wait a minute. After that, I kept asking for my phone call. I was told I would not get a phone call until I'm already booked and processed. For the information, Homan and Fillmore does not even book and process you at that station. I had to be taken to another police station to be booked and processed in. So all the time while I was at Homan and Fillmore, approximately, I believe, 6 to 8 hours, I was denied all access to any outside communication. So, and this is like the norm. It happens to me, but this is the normal operating procedures. Young guys who I work with, they have complaints we've been following with IBRA for like the last year of being denied and your right to counsel being totally undermined. If you have a right to counsel, how can you access counsel if you can't communicate with counsel? You can't just send a telephonic message saying, hey, your lawyer come at the station, please come. So that's why we're here today, and I hope some change are being implemented and some change are being made. If not, we're gonna have John Berg all over again. The reason John Berg stuff went undermined was because no one was allowed to call, no one was allowed to communicate with their family members. By that time, you was already in the county jail. By the time you get a chance to tell your family, hey, the police did this to me, they did that to me. No one's can investigate because it's over with. And I hope today that everyone, pays attention. I hope some change are being implemented.
So I want to point out too, right, the Chicago Police Department is who told us that less than 1% of all of their arrestees in their custody in any facility in all of 2013 had a lawyer at any point of their up to 48, 72 hours detention. Less than 1%. I FOIA'd them and they responded by phone. 302 arrestees had a lawyer enter any CPD facility in that entire year out of 143,398, right? So of course we need their partnership. Of course we need this move. And keep in mind too, First Defense responds to facilities throughout the city, not just Homan Square. And the last time one of our attorneys couldn't find their client, they were in the same building as this client and had confirmed that before and were told, no, we don't know where he is. Then he was let out and the whole time he was there, right? So these kinds of problems, being denied access to your counsel, even in the same building, are truly throughout the system, and we can speak to that. I want to point out our next speaker, Darius Lightfoot, to share how even for simple, false even arrests, this is still an issue that affects families, loved ones, and the people that are held incommunicado.
Thank you. My name is Darius Lightfoot, D-A-R-R-I-U-S-L-I-G-H-T-F-O-O-T. I am a youth advocate of juvenile justice and justice itself. Being denied your rights is unjust. Being held for 3, 4, 10 hours without a phone call is unjust. We are here today to ask the city, to ask the mayor, to ask the superintendent that they support this cause, that they support human rights, that they support civil rights, that they support the development of people in impoverished neighborhoods in the city of Chicago. I got detained last year for something minor, something that I didn't do. I walked outside, got stopped. I said, I do not consent to a search. They said, oh, you're smart, huh? We're gonna lock you up. And they charged me with disorderly conduct. As soon as I got to the station, I told them, can I get my phone call? I asked for my phone call as soon as I got to the station. They said, you won't get your phone call until you go to the back and get processed. I didn't get to the back until 4 hours later. I was sitting there being asked questions, getting yelled at, being called names for something that I never did, for knowing my rights. When I got to the back, I had to ask for my phone call. I didn't get offered. I had to ask once again. And they said, you can use the payphone. I don't got no money on me, you feel me? I ain't got no change. So I can't use no payphone to call my moms, to call my people, to let them know. So who did I call? 1-800-LAW-RAP4. But the call did not go through. I called and I called and I called, and it would not go through. And I'm like, 1-800 is a collect number, right? So I'm like, hold on, let me switch it up. Let me, I might got the wrong number. So I pressed 1-866-LAW-RAP4. It did not go through. Something was wrong there. Something was not going right. Something was smelling fishy. I was in a cell for 4 hours, additional 4 hours to the ones that I already had. Still didn't talk to anyone on the outside world. When I got booked, they let me go. So I was detained in custody for 8 hours for nothing. Got let go, didn't have bus fare to go back home, so I had to walk home from the 3rd District on 71st and Cottage Grove. As Sarah and Charles said, this is my story, but this is also his story, and her story, and thousands of other citizens of Chicago. We need to stop this madness. We need to do something about it. We need to support. We need to fight back for our civil rights, for our human rights. We are humans. We are citizens. Thank you.